these are all the books that I read in 2022. I'm gonna take you through all of them, give you my rating, tell you my thoughts. I'm not gonna be too descriptive since it's a lot of books. Also, this is probably the least amount of books I've read in a year, not including the years that I just didn't read because there was a time of that. I also have a book journal. Steph inspired my book journal. Basically, every time I read a book, I write about it, give it my rating, put my favorite quotes. So if I didn't journal about it, there's a good chance I don't remember it. So some of these I didn't journal, probably just because I was in a slump and didn't feel like it. Some of these will be kind of just said and put down. I'm also going to do it from first to last. I read The Score, which is a part of the Off-Campus series by Ellie Kennedy. It was the third book in the Off-Campus series. I read these in 2021. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from it was, "It's hard to let go of someone who's been such a big part of your life for so long. It's even harder when that person refused to let you go." Okay, I just feel like I have to mention this. The second book in the Off-Campus series, The Mistake, her name is Grace. You need to know that. There is 2 more books in this series, but I just didn't read them. Call Me By Your Name. I DNF'd this in 2020 or 2021, but I picked it up again. I rated it originally 1 star, but now I rate it 4 stars. It feels so proper. Like, I feel like I am in a different dimension. I feel like I am so smart when I read this because I do not read classics, only because I'm too dumb. I'm not gonna read my favorite quote, but I'm gonna put in the clip of the movie saying my favorite quote because it's too long.
We rip out so much of ourselves to be cured of things faster that we go bankrupt by the age of 30 and have less to offer each time we start with someone new. But to make yourself feel nothing so as not to feel anything, what a waste. Right now, there's sorrow, pain. Don't kill it.
Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. 5 stars. 5 stars. Probably my favorite book I read all 2022. The announcement for the show just came out a few days ago, and I've never been more happy. It's placed in the 70s rock band, kind of taking their way through their 20s and becoming famous. This is hands down my favorite book of all 2022. 2 favorite quotes is, "Men often think they deserve a sticker for treating women like people." True. And my second favorite was, "Baby, when you think of me, I hope it ruins rock and roll," which I feel like just describes the entire book into one. I read The Hunger Games for my English class, and I don't remember it too vividly. I didn't write it down. I just liked it. I remember feeling very excited about watching it, but I wasn't very drawn to it. I wouldn't read it again. 3 stars, I guess. Credence by Penelope Douglas. 9 months later, I still have very, very mixed emotions on this. Like, I don't know whether to rate it a 1 star or a 4 star. That sounds so bad because it's so messed up. Basically, she ends up living with her, like, distant cousins or something like that. Like, I think they're step, or they're not even related anymore. I don't know. But, and they have a relationship. So, everything else besides that was good, but that really weirded me out. People either love it or hate it. I don't know if I love it or hate it. 2 quotes. "My classmates hated me because they took my silence for snobbiness." I felt that to a personal level. And then the other one, which I totally agree with, "The first boy or man is a crush. You think you love them, but what you really love is how they make you feel. It's not love, it's lust. Lust for attention, lust for danger, less to feel special. That's very real. November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I gave this 4 stars, but I think now, looking back on it, months later, I'd give it maybe 3 stars. It's just, I love the concept of time jump. The time jump in this, only seeing each other once a year was very, left you wondering what happened in between those years. I don't know, I don't have much to say about this one. I hate Ben, and that's about it. And then my favorite quote is, when you find love, you take it, you grab it with both hands, and you do everything in your power not to let it go. True, but it always ends up leaving me somehow. Verity by Colleen Hoover. This makes me feel like a big Colleen Hoover stan, but I'm really not. I have 7 of her books, but it was an old era. I used to really like her, now I'm just not that into her. I can't read her books anymore after this. I don't know why. But I rated this one 4 stars. This one, ooh, it was my first, like, almost mystery. I don't know if this would be considered a mystery, but it left you wondering, and it was very creepy. I got nightmares for this a lot. I got a lot of nightmares. But check this out. It's a little creepy, so check out the warnings. My favorite quote is, find what you love and let it kill you. I'm not sure if that was a quote from another author that she put into here or not, because it feels very familiar. The first Heartstopper book, it also, warning, it's a book like this. I don't know if it counts, but the first Heartstopper book, I give it 4 stars. Alice Olsman, I hope I'm saying that right. I watched the show and I fell in love with it, so naturally I just read the books. 4 stars, loved it. It was very cute. My first ever YA ever since I was like 10. Read the second Heartstopper, just as good. I love the progress they're having, his finding himself. It kind of touched my heart because I got related to a lot of this stuff. And then I ended up not reading any of the other Heartstopper books because it reminded me of my ex, and then that was that. So I have the other 2. I have a feeling that when the new season comes out, I'll just read it then. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. Steph has been recommending her for life. Ride or die, you know what I mean? It was the biggest book I read of 2022. I gave it 4 stars. It was the first, like, slow burn romance I've ever had. And, man, she does slow burn so well, it's not even funny. I did not read this, but I feel like I should say it because not many people know. This is the spin-off, hands down. It's Zach's spin-off, and I feel like not a lot of people know that, but I fell in love with Zach more than I did her. And this actually made me watch a football game, which was very strange how it made me do that, and I got obsessed with football for like 2 months, which was really weird. Same with the Off-Campus series. It made me want to watch hockey, which was very strange to me. My Policeman. I gave this book 5 stars. My Policeman by Bethan Roberts. It like touched my heart in a way that I can't really describe. It represented so much of things that I don't get to see ever, which made me really sad, but it made me really happy, you know what I mean? So I recommend this. Every day of my life, I will recommend this book. The movie did not live up to it at all. I love Harry. That's why I read it, because I knew he was going to be in the movie. I love him, but it did not live up to this at all. Like, if you didn't like the movie, I'd still recommend this, you know what I mean? One of my favorite quotes they took out of the movie, which really broke my heart, but I'm just gonna read it. For a policeman, you're very romantic, and then he says, for an artist, you're very afraid. So after that, the Summer I Turned Pretty series came out. After maybe a month, I was like, okay, I have to read the books. So I read the first Summer I Turned Pretty. My sister has it, and she's not here, but I'm filming anyway. It's by Jenny Han, and I gave the first one a 5 stars. I don't have any quotes for it, but I don't know. I live in Florida, and I started reading it right when it became into winter, so it brought me straight to the beach. I don't know how to describe it, but it's so accurate on how summer feels in Florida. It felt so real onto how Florida was. Of course, it's YA, so it didn't give me everything that I wanted, but I don't know. I just enjoyed it so much. I think I gave it a 5 stars only because it kind of felt personal to me. And then I read It's Not Summer Without You. I gave that one a 4 stars. I liked it, but obviously sequels will never give you the same energy as the first book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I felt like it could have gave me more time. The book is placed in a very small area of time, maybe just like a week or two. Then We Always Have Summer, the last book of the series. I gave this one a 4 stars because it was still so good, but it just didn't live up to the first one. I don't know. I just loved the whole series as a whole because it just brings me to summer. It made me happy. It didn't like hurt my feelings, or I mean, I did cry, but you know, I don't know how to describe the happiness it gave me, this whole series. I'm definitely going to reread it next summer because it's just so summery. I don't know. Reading this in the winter brought me to summer, and I will forever love that. Finally, I'm Team Conrad. So if you're not Team Conrad, you're crazy. The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Laurie, which is the Maid series. She's done bad things. Do not buy her books. Buy it secondhand. That's what I had to do. I enjoy it. I'm not done with it, obviously, but it's just very weird, but I love it. It's mafia. I'm reading this early December, so the chances are I will be finishing the series, and that's all I'll read for this year. I don't know. I don't have a lot of opinions on it yet because I'm not done, but so far I'm really enjoying it. Then I regret not doing this, but I didn't log my 2 poem books that I read. So I have no idea when I read them or how I felt about them, but I'll just tell you. Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass by Lana Del Rey. Ooh, I loved this. I don't know how to describe it, but something about it just really, ooh. I also love the way it was formatted. I read this in like literally 10 minutes. And I annotated it, but let me show you the format. It made me very happy inside. Some pages would have her original, this is not me, she wrote this, her original like thoughts, or you know, this is the original version of the poem that she typed, and this is the final draft. When people do that, it just makes me feel like I'm in their brain. Even though they released it, it made me feel so very happy. At a film from her. I actually didn't finish this. Yes, it is poems, but there is some essays in here. So I did not finish this. Did take good Instagram pictures with it. I don't know if I'd recommend it because I haven't finished it. It's very cute. I don't know how to say her name, but it takes you through her life. Her growing up, literally her photography throughout her life. There's pictures of her as a baby. I bought this not knowing her. I don't know if she's famous. I haven't looked her up, but there's pictures of her literally, but it is a poem book, so there is essays and poems and things like that. So that's it for my yearly wrap up. I am definitely going to be reading a lot more books next year, but I also said that about the year before. I definitely bought more books than I read. That's all I'll say. It's been a good year. I feel like I could have done better. My favorite book of the year was Daisy Jones and the Six. My least favorite book of the year, I love all the books that I read this year. Probably my least favorite would be November 9. Only because it didn't stand out compared to all the other books. It was a good book, I enjoyed it, but it didn't stand out. So yeah, that's all for 2022. I will update you next year.